The garden itself was actually inspired by the work of Mexican architect Luis Barragán. I came across Luis Barragán's work a few years ago, was completely drawn to it because of his use of colour, how he used colour, and I think part of that is really my subconscious coming through. As a child, I've always been surrounded by colour. My childhood memories are of my mum's saris, and they're very colourful. So I was instantly drawn to his use of colour in his architecture. Instinct was, when I saw his work, was that wouldn't this make an amazing backdrop to some dynamic planting for Chelsea? We are actually at Kelway's Nurseries. My purpose today is to look at how my plants are coming on. I've got some quite difficult plants, and I just wanted to make sure that they're coming on in time for Chelsea. The quality of the planting is actually good in terms of how they're growing. Wow, they're coming on really, really well. Really beautiful. Yeah. I'm just going to try and keep them as tightly closed as possible, just so that we can make sure that they're opening up in time for Chelsea. I've got some really difficult plants, and what I've actually agreed for Kelway's to do is, with the flowering plants, keep as many of them back in the warmer climates of Spain and Italy to make sure that they get the heat and the light that they need. And then once that happens and they're ready, they're at a point where we feel that, yes, they're ready to bring over to the UK, I've given Kelway's the go-ahead to do that. I wanted to use indigenous plants, indigenous to Mexico, but I also wanted to combine them with Mediterranean plants as well, and drought-tolerant plants. My passion is for Mediterranean plants. I love working with Mediterranean plants. What I really wanted to do was I wanted to kind of involve the vegetation of Mexico. I've used a lot of agaves in the garden, and in fact they're one of the key plants within my garden. And it associates back with Mexico because agaves are used to create tequila. They are, I understand, also being used now for a sugar substitute. Which garden designer doesn't want to create a garden at the Chelsea Flower Show? You know, it's the perfect opportunity for me to show that, look, this is what I can do. This is my passion. Luis Barragán was incredibly passionate about horses, so I brought that into the garden. The idea of having a sculpture of a horse in the garden was that I actually wanted the spirit of the animal within the garden, because they were always so important to Luis Barragán himself. It's actually been created by a brilliant sculptor called Rupert Till. He's creating it out of old copper wire. The other thing that Luis Barragán always used to do within his properties was he used to create these enormous pools of water, beautiful aquamarine pools, and those were actually for the horses. And I've created a large pool of water within the garden, and then I've got these huge steps that are being created out of zinc microcement that actually cross over the pool of water to a seating area. I was very, very excited about seeing the steelworks. It was the first time I actually saw the size of these steps, and it gave me a real feeling of how big my garden actually was. I had no idea that a 10-metre by 6-metre garden was quite a huge sized garden. We are talking about a very short time until we're actually entering the grounds of the Chelsea Flower Show. Seeing the plants today has helped a bit, but my heart is still thumping away because plants are plants. They're going to do what they want to do. I can't make the flowers bloom. They've got to do it themselves. We can control somewhat the temperatures to encourage them, but ultimately they'll do what they want. We're at the grounds of the Chelsea Flower Show today, first day of build. This moment has been a long time coming. There's only so long that you can actually look at a set of plans for. I'm really excited to see the garden rising out of the earth. And tomorrow, one of the most exciting things happens. My trees arrive. The minute the trees go into the ground, it really gives the garden some focus. We begin to see the space actually as a garden. The other things that are going to be arriving tomorrow are my huge agaves as well, and I'm very, very excited about those. The parasana has already got a flower spike on it that is 3 meters tall. By the time the show opens up, it's likely to be 4 meters. I've been waiting for this moment for such a long time. So long as the rain stays off, I'll be happy. Don't want rain. I guess I am a little bit nervous. It's my first garden at Chelsea. But I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. I've got a great team around me. I've got great support around me. The planting team have been working solidly for the past couple of days to get the plants in, get them positioned out. When the first set of plants arrived, they started creating groupings of plantings that would work within the garden. That big agave with the flower spike went in. I am absolutely loving that. It looks fantastic. And when that was positioned, yeah, that my heart sang. I'm feeling optimistic. I think we'll have a fantastic looking garden. It's just been absolute bliss to sit back and really enjoy the garden, because we haven't been able to do that. We've been full on at it, making the garden happen, building it, making sure everything is looking beautiful. The best compliment that I've had so far is somebody saying to me that it's a garden that they would want to be in. If this garden makes people feel that they are in Mexico, they want to be in this garden, then this garden is doing its job.
Taking a step back to look at the garden after being involved in the detail of it so long, you just realise what you've constructed. And I've done loads of show gardens, and this has to be one of my favourites, absolutely one of my favourites. His fashion experience clearly stands out in his colours and textures, and the use of form and shape with the planting. from a construction point of view, we can also get excited about that as well, because we enjoy the building process.
It's just magical. It's really magical. It's a joyous garden, and I think that's what people are picking up from it. And it was a pleasure to be on it and work on it.
Thank you so much.
My first garden at Chelsea, and I won a silver gilt. I'm absolutely delighted that I've won a silver gilt, and actually that just gives me that tiny little bit of space to come back and do another one. So come back I will. It was just a glorious moment for me and for the whole team, you know, because this is not just me, it's about the whole team. We all did this garden together. I'm delighted for every single one of us.